A snippet of today's conversation with my gorgeous guest, Santi Braz.
Because then you can start planning your life. You can start creating on purpose. So now I'm about that. I got this straight up from not what's her name, Abraham Hicks, when she was talking about like allowing things into your vortex. So what you allow into your vortex. And now I'm like, all right, I got to stop Magic Mike in it. I was stripping. I was like, I'm gonna end that. I slowly, finished the adult OnlyFans stuff. Not really doing that too much anymore. I mean, it's up, but I'm gonna delete it soon. This is making the transformation. It's difficult because it's like, ooh, I need this money. It's hard to say no, but I'm like, nah, I got to keep it cute. There's a higher plan, and I got to say above the battleground, there's a higher plan that God is calling me to. Um, that will lay, a beautiful foundation if I just like stay focused.
Yeah, I love that, and I want to offer you this, and this is not something new to you. This is not something you haven't heard, but everything in your life serves you for a reason.
Yeah.
You had it for a season, and it
Yes.
served you for that season,
Yeah.
and you are allowed to discard it when it no longer serves you. You
Yeah.
know, you are allowed to put it down. You are allowed to change the trajectory of your life. You are allowed to go in a different, direction.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. No, I was just going off what you said. You just made me think like, well, right when you said that, I'm thinking, oh, I'm not a victim.
Mhm.
You're right. Like I did what I did once upon a time not long ago. I wasn't okay. But at the same point, it's like it taught me, at a certain point, I did the OnlyFans thing. It did make me heal a lot of stuff and make me kind of control my own body and control how I looked. And I'm like, oh, I feel sexy again. I feel good about myself. But then I'm like, some of it was like, all right, I can skip this experience. But for the most part, it's cool. The stripping was it's an experience. I've been on and off magic macking it. Magic I call it magic macking it, but stripping since like my first time in graduate school. Well, I did a little bit of undergrad, but mostly was in when I was in grad school, and then again this past when I just finished engineering school. I went back to school for audio engineering, music production to learn like the business side, all the Pro Tools, Ableton, all the Logic, everything, the big SSL, everything, all that, the audience, okay, live sound, everything. So I trained on that and the O2R as well. But then during at night, I would be stripping, so I would be like, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you work at a bar, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They like, "Oh, you look like a bartender," and I'm like, "Yeah, yo, absolutely." I ain't tell nobody about Twitter. I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't say none of that, especially this past year. I ain't say none of that, Smokey. And now that I'm done with school, everybody like some of my old classmates are like, "Well, where was this something?" Because I was completely different. I mean, I was like, you know what I mean, buttoned up, cute up, the drawers was coming out the bag, the thong was coming out the bag, but I was like, I got this bachelorette party, I got this. I'm not even going front. I did do a bachelorette party a couple weeks ago because my boy asked me, but I haven't been. I've been mostly at the club. I mostly work downtown. Everybody knows Monster Bar and all those places, so I'll be there. But I'm trying to stay away. Uh, if you catch me back 1 or 2 weeks, this credit card bill need to be paid, player. The streams ain't streaming just yet. I ain't released everything just yet, but I'm just keeping it real. I'm just doing it myself. Because my end goal is to get a distribution deal, not a regular record deal. Um, just because I want to take control of everything, and I know how to do everything. I'm gonna be honest and cut costs that way. I'd rather be a subsidiary, um, and do that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you know, I don't. It's no secret. I've been supporting black and brown men since 2003.
Yeah, I've seen.
I have thousands of them that I know, and I cater especially, and I've asked a lot of people to come to my platform because I humanize them.
Yeah,
And, I allow people to realize that they're human because I have thousands of young men that call me queen, mom, dad, and they're OnlyFans creators, they're porn stars. I've talked to the, most amazing. I've had the opportunity. Max Connor's a friend of mine, Deep Dick's a friend of mine, and the list goes on and on and on. Jason Zhu has been to my camera, like all of them. Chino Black, all of these
yeah.
beautiful knockout, fame, Rico Pruitt. I know all these people, and one thing that I love is that I always tell them, there's nothing wrong with what you do. You know, you are a being and you are allowed to create whatever narrative you need. And, I was doing, because I do monologues, that's what made me go viral back in 2015, these monologues. But today's monologue spoke about the fact that, most people don't realize that you wouldn't want a thing if you weren't destined to have it.
Wow.
That was the message that the divine
Ooh.
gave me today. It came today.
Ooh.
So I'm sharing it with you because it was literally the message that I was given today. And I can back that up with proof. You
Wow.
see millionaires, you see billionaires, you see all of these people, and you wonder how they got there. You know that it was hard work, but you're like, my God, like it's just there's so much, so much, so much. I guarantee you, they wanted it as soon as they were able to have individual thought as a child. They
Yeah.
wanted they wanted it. And, a lot of people don't realize the second half of that. When you don't get what you innately want, you have to
Mhm.
question what you did. See, people don't like to put the onus on them. And I don't mean OnlyFans and this is that and the other. I mean haters. How did you block someone else? How did you shit on someone else's name? And what happens is when they do, instead of staying focused and minding the business that pays them,
Yeah.
they forfeit everything that they innately wanted and they're left with nothing but opinion and judgment. And a lot of people don't understand that. And
They're projecting.
yeah, yeah. And that was what came to me today. I don't want anything in my life that I'm not destined to have. Because
Mm.
if I wasn't destined to have it, I
You
wouldn't.
wouldn't want it.
It's
Yeah.
just that simple. And,
Yeah.
for me, I have a lot. I have a lot of ambition. I have men that I've known forever, like I said, 2003. So they've watched my climb, they've watched my career, and they know I am getting everything I want. And people tell you, you can't have it all. True, but you can have what you want. It's a difference.
Yeah.
No, you can't have it all because you're not destined to have it all. And if you really give yourself the benefit of the doubt, you don't want it all.
I think having it all is subjective. Yeah, because it's like you said. If I didn't want it, that's not a part of my all. My all is different than your all.
Exactly. I like how you said that. My all is different from your all. Exactly. Exactly. My all is different from your all. And that has allowed me to be able to support these men around the globe. And they go off and they be and they do. I've never been a jealous person. I've never been a hater because I've always said, I'm proud of what you accomplished because it motivates me to keep going after what I want. And I say to myself, well, if that could happen for you, then what I want can happen for me. I have this saying when I post these original memes, and down in the corner it says, always and everyone, when your delusion works.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. See, being bipolar, it's two poles. I literally would be manic, and when I was manic, I would create masterpieces. And I realized that through therapy, I wasn't being cured. I was given the tools
Yeah.
to manage my superpower.
That's what I'm gonna say. You're managing, you're organizing the chaos. That's all.
Being type 1 bipolar gave me a lot of energy,
Yeah.
and I needed that energy for the last decade of my life. I have over 60,000 monologues, 3 albums, and more music to come. I have, services and all these things that I offer, products and merchandise, all these things. I needed that energy.
Mhm.
My mental illness was never an illness. It was a leg up and it was an advantage. And yours is too. It's an advantage. It enables you to get what you want because what you need to get what you want is spiritual magic. You need to be different. You need to not be the same or be normal because what you want is not normal.
Well, I take actually. This got me really more empowered because now I realize that uh, I'm taking away all specialness because we all special, right? We all fabulous. We all amazing. We all can dance, sing, and act, and that's beautiful. That's basic black. Everybody good. Now what? Now it's like, who am I? What story do I have to tell? So now I'm thinking about it as I'm a storyteller. That's our legacy. How can I tell a narrative in the most thought out way that's nuanced, but also allows for dialogue? And that's not of the ego, but of my inner self.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to that. Also, you're telling the story in the most authentic way that you,
Yes. Yeah.
that you can. You see, one thing about me, I'm more of a businessman today, but I will always be an artist. And I love that side because, even in my business, people, like you said earlier, people are always trying to separate themselves.
Mm.
And what I learned, they're like, oh, I'm gonna leave this over here and I'm gonna leave this over here and this. And what the divine did with me was mix it all together. Let it get a muddy, muddy brown color.
Mm.
Let all those colors turn around and come together. And people are like, oh my God, it looks like shit.
Now it
It's
looks like gold, baby.
green and this and that. And it's like, no, baby, this is the fertilizer for my crop that I'm
Right.
about to reap my harvest from. I'm about to plant in this. And
Like gold.
it is the moment that you embrace the difficulty that you begin to change on that cellular level.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know, yeah, you begin to evolve.
yeah.
You begin to actually see the path. With my career, I had a lot of people angry with me, but it was a path that they could not see. I invented my own genre of music. And the crazy thing about it was that when I was doing it, it was never my intention. I just wanted to get my story out there.
Yeah.
I just wanted my voice to be heard.
You just wanted to play.
Yeah.
There's
And
nothing wrong with that.
and literally I watched as the golden bricks laid out of thin air that yellow brick road.
Mm.
I watched that happen and I
Mm.
just walked my journey. And
Mm.
that's why I sit here with all that I have, all that I am. Because yes, it was difficult, but I never once tried to abandon or shuck off any part of my journey. I literally embraced it all. All that anger at my mother and my father for
Mm.
mental illness being passed, I let that all go.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I let it all go.
Mm.
Because, truth be told, they didn't wake up and say, I'm going to have mental illness and I'm going to pass it to my child. They didn't say
No.
that. I find that there is a lack of empathy in the world. There is a lack of compassion and understanding. And what I love most about the world, though, is most artists have some kind of anxiety or mental thing, I'll call it a thing, going on
Mm.
because the world and how we relate to it, it changes our brains.
Yeah. Yeah.
It literally, like you said, cellular, it changes who we are.
The call is great.
Yes, I was telling my grandmother today. I said, you know what I love about God? And she said, what? I said, He's never through. He's never through. You may think, oh, it's a masterpiece now. And he goes,
Mhm.
okay, that's great. And then he walks away, and you're like, oh, you're marveling at it, and you're beholding it, and you're praising him for it. And then he walks back, and with a brush, and you're like, what are you doing? It's perfect. It's perfect. And he's just like, and you're like, oh, what was that? Wait a minute. He's like,
Yeah.
oh. And then you go, oh, but it's perfect now. It's perfect now. That was it. That was genius.
Well, the best art is the type of art that continues.
It
Yeah.
continues. That is why, even as beings, we continue.
Yeah.
Matter is neither created nor destroyed. He said before we were formed in our
Transform.
mother's wombs, he knew us, which means we had to already be.
Yeah.
He had already be. Which is why even when we leave here, we don't
Mhm.
disappear.
Well,
No.
that's kind of like my. Could you mention being? That's kind of like what my conversation is right now is like it has to be in the being. It's not in the being. Like I am sound. Like I have to be it. Because it's very easy to be like, well, I can't find this in nobody, and I can't find blip, 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 and blip, blip. Yo, Smokey, well, how about you be it? Like, you just be magnificent. You be audacious. You be fun. You be friendly. You be joyous. You be a kid again. And also, that energy will allow will allow for more energy to come into, or allow more people to come into my life that can match that. But I have to match that frequency. I have to be that frequency, because you're not going to get it if you're not matching that frequency. That's really why people reach their goals faster than others, because your ego will trick you and tell you got to go through a whole bunch of shit to get there. You actually don't. You actually it's here. So condition your mind a certain way.
Thoughts become things.
Yeah, you do. You do.
It's
So you
just,
got to be careful what you think. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm not gonna make myself wrong for thinking weird. Like if it goes off, I'm like, oh, that's the monkey thought. That's not real. But the thoughts that I put my attention to and my focus on, that's what I want to. That make me feel good. That empower my spirit. That's what I can. That's what I can choose to manifest.
yeah, I like that. And I'm going to stay there for a second. I like that because we have something that, I'm going to explain to the people.
Mhm.
Every thought is not yours. We have thoughts called intrusive thoughts. They happen without your consent. And what you have to do is what you just said. I learned in therapy, I got the tools to just sit and let every thought come my way, feel them, hear
Mhm.
them,
Mhm.
understand them or not. And what happens is when I have a thought that I can use, I grab it.
Yeah,
I let all the thoughts just wash over me.
that you can
And I
use.
see one and I'm like, oh, I can use that.
I can use that.
And then, and let all the rest just
Yeah,
continue to have. I used to have suicidal thoughts really badly for many, many years.
can't use none of that shit.
Exactly. But get this. I learned to sit with my suicidal thought. I realized I don't have to make good on this thought.
Right.
I don't have to embrace this thought. So I sat and I let my mind do what it was doing.
Yeah, you're
And
a
some,
note to death.
yeah, some people will be like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." No, it's not. I didn't grab the thought,
Yeah.
which is why I can tell you, "Oh yeah, I've had suicidal thoughts, mental illness. I've had suicidal thoughts, but I never grabbed it. I never grabbed it. Grabbed it once when I was younger, and I was like 23, 24.
Mhm.
And my friend intervened and gave me knowledge and wisdom. She said, baby, don't do it. Because literally, you are going to leave your body, float above your existence, and you're going to look down the road in the line of time and see everything you forfeited that was good for you.
Yeah.
And literally, I didn't stay because of the promise. I stayed because of the curiosity. I said, what
Yep.
if I make it? What if I actually do make it?
That's
Never,
the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I had to
What if
know.
you actually make it? Yeah.
I had to know. And that thought kept me here 21 years.
Guess what though? You've already made it. It's already there. It's already happened. It's
Oh, baby. Oh,
already happened.
baby, my empire is vast.
Had enough? Or do you want more? Watch the rest of this conversation right now on my YouTube channel, YouTube/, The Queen of Shade. I'm listed. Come and find me. Don't worry, I'm a professional.